Wedded Bliss, celebrating Princess Leonore's love story with Baron Trump. Greater than, no one believed it could happen, not the press. Not the palace. Not even their closest friends. But love doesn't ask for permission. It simply blooms. Today, we take you deep into the royal wedding the world never expected, Princess Leonore and Baron Trump. The truth behind the love, the tears, the vows, and the story that changed royal history forever. Greater than, it began as a rumor. Then a whisper in the halls of two nations. But now, it's real. Official. Beautiful. Princess Leonore of Spain, Europe's most admired royal heir, and Baron Trump, son of one of America's most influential families, have done the unthinkable. They have written a love story that crossed oceans, crowns, and conflict. Today, we invite you to witness a celebration of unity, a wedding that didn't just change headlines. It changed hearts. Greater than, but how did it all begin? And what happened behind the palace doors before the world even knew? Stay with us. 1. How it all began. Greater than, they met in silence. No media. No pressure. Just two teenagers meeting at an international summit hosted in Geneva. Leonore had just completed her first phase of military training. Baron was visiting as part of a quiet delegation with his mother. One photograph, never released, captured them walking along a garden path, smiling shyly. But it wasn't just attraction. It was recognition. They were two people who grew up behind gold-plated gates, longing for realness. Greater than, a source close to Zarzuela Palace whispered. She said she hadn't laughed like that in years. He brought peace to her storm. What started with smiles became letters. Then calls. Then quiet meetings far from the public eye. 2. The secret courtship. Greater than, the romance was carefully hidden. Over 2 years, the couple maintained what insiders call the most private international royal courtship in decades. Secret weekend visits. Hidden notes delivered through embassy staff. And then, one moment that would change everything. Baron flew to Madrid on Leonore's 19th birthday, unannounced. He stood at her barracks gate, wearing a black suit. She cried when she saw him. He said only 7 words. Greater than, I'm not here for the crown. Just you. Greater than, that moment, recorded only in the hearts of a few, began what insiders call the Royal Pact of Hearts. 3. The unlikely proposal. Greater than, the world had no idea. Then came the night of March 22, 2025. During a private dinner in the gardens of Zarzuela Palace, Baron stood beside a violinist, trembling slightly, and proposed. No paparazzi. No flashing lights. Just moonlight and roses. He held a ring passed down from Leonore's great-grandmother. She wept. The answer. A nod. A whisper. Yes. Always, yes. Greater than, but behind the joy, tension was rising. 4. The royal challenges. Greater than, not everyone approved. In Spain, critics questioned the political implications. In the US, skeptics whispered about influence. But the couple stood firm. They released a rare joint statement. Greater than, this is not about politics. This is about love. Our love. The King of Spain met with Baron privately. After 2 hours behind closed doors, Felipe VI emerged with only one comment. He respects my daughter. And that is all I require. And with that, the wedding was set in motion, quietly, gracefully, and unforgettably. 5. The royal wedding day. Greater than, June 30, 2025. The Palace of El Pardo was silent at dawn. In one room, Leonore stood before a mirror, alone, wearing a gown inspired by her grandmother's legacy. In another, Baron read a handwritten letter from her, sealed with her perfume. Then the bells rang. Greater than, the chapel overflowed with emotion. Tears flowed. When Leonore walked in, even generals and politicians stood breathless. Baron cried openly as she approached. Their vows, spoken in both Spanish and English, were raw, intimate, and unforgettable. Greater than, I choose you, not for what the world sees, but for what I see in your silence. As they kissed, Spain and America both wept. This was not just marriage. It was merging destiny. 6. The private moments. Greater than, what cameras didn't show was more powerful. The first dance, slow, under candlelight. The father-daughter moment, Leonore breaking down in her father's arms. And the handwritten toast from Queen Letizia. Greater than, you were born into duty, my daughter. But today, you chose joy. That night, the couple slipped away for a quiet walk through the palace gardens. One guard said, Greater than, they didn't say a word for minutes. Just held hands, like the world finally paused for them. Greater than as fireworks lit the sky above Madrid, a new era began. The future Queen of Spain had married not for status, not for alliance, but for love. And Baron, once shielded by controversy, now stood respected, not as a trump, but as a husband. Today, the couple begins a new chapter. They've returned to a quieter life, away from the spotlight. But the world still wonders. Greater than what kind of monarch will Leonor become, with love by her side? And will this love story, born in silence, become the legacy that redefines two nations? Only time will tell. But one thing is certain. This royal love is the most human of all.